Bam! And we're live. If you're catching the replay, just hold tight. We'll be with you shortly. We're breaking records already because we were only 1 minute late. So can I get a hell yeah in the comments if you're watching this?
That is a bit of a record for us, not even lying, Consistently a few minutes behind. It's the time difference between me and Flip.
Oh shit. We're just gonna hold tight. Like we're gonna break down some really cool stuff for you guys and just lay it all out there exactly how we've done things, how we continue to do things, how we have done things for the last 3 years. So as folks are piling on, make sure you say hello in the comments. We have ego problems and we're always down in the dumps. So comments really get us up to speed and make us excited. So hopefully y'all are here to make us feel better about ourselves. Just kidding. All right. Look at all these peoples. Let me see. We got Dana, Facebook user. And if this is your first time seeing us, let us know in the comments. Just put a hashtag first time. Would love to see where you're from too. So if you could let us know where you're from if you're brand new. I do see a lot of awesome folks that I do know. Angela, Tyler, Bobby, Eddie, and Lindley. Good to see y'all. Eddie, Lindley, I shot a pretty big deer this evening, but I had to come out. Found large piles of blood. It's a pretty good deer, so I'm hoping I can go back in the morning and put my hands on it. I really hope. Alan, good to see you, brother. Brian, Matthew, Chris. All right, we got some legends in the house. West Coast. I see you. What's up, Dean? June, I see lots of new names, which is amazing. So just to let you guys know, we are very fluent in sarcasm and profanity. If that offends you, you might want to go ahead and leave now. Yeah. Now, we do have a treat for you guys tonight. We will be breaking down some shit in super high detail because Nate and I were just two ex-blue collar guys that figure stuff out, right? Lots of new folks. Love it. Full house. Yeah. So far, we got 60 folks on, and we're only a couple minutes in. So we don't want to get started too soon. So we'll give it just a couple more minutes. Highly appreciate you all being here. If you're brand new to seeing Nate and myself, like someone told you about this training, let me know if you already have a business or you've already started and you're trying to gain traction. So just let me know with a got one. Just type out got one in the comments if you've already got a business. Hell yeah. I don't know who this is, but they said love sarcasm and profanity. Fuck yeah. Love it. That makes me excited because that means I get to be in my element. Anybody else having a little?
I'm still muted, apparently. Still muted.
Still muted, eh?
Yes, the strategy and the concepts that we'll be breaking down will realistically be applicable to sell whatever you want online, right? Products, services, affiliate products, coaching offers. Doesn't necessarily matter, especially when you start looking at the bigger picture and like building the ecosystem and like implementing the model that we're going to be breaking down. The actual piece that you're monetizing with doesn't make a difference. We've been using the same exact strategy to sell dozens and dozens of our own products. We have clients who sell their own things, clients who've launched their own things. So it will definitely be applicable to whatever you want to sell online, right? And it'll be different for everybody, right? We all have different beliefs and opinions and things that we want to build brands around. But yes, long-winded answer to your question, it will work.
Yeah. I know, Andy. I'm looking like I'm actually 35 with no beard. Yeah, I think a lot of shit gets twisted with a lot of the messages out there online right now because everyone and their mama is experts in some kind of online business thing. But the reality of it is, in today's time, whether you have a brick and mortar or you have an online business, it doesn't matter. The way that you're going to grow that is creating content so that you can, build more awareness around you, your business, your brand, and whatever the hell it is that you sell. So I kind of became internet famous for my little line here, which is, we don't care if you sell dildos, dump trucks, or digital courses. We'll show you how to sell it ethically, right? So yeah, so I'm really loving it. I'm loving it. We've crossed over 70 folks. I would say, what would y'all say? 6 minutes in, because we're gonna do our best not to be long-winded as fuck tonight. We want to get y'all some valuable information, and break some stuff down. And we are going to do a Q&A towards the end. And full transparency, we will be telling you guys about an offer. We will show you something that we're doing to kind of celebrate almost 2 years with creating a signature program that's helped folks do well over $1.6 million. So that's other students and clients. So we will be sharing that too. Okay. Flip shaved and Nate didn't.
Just calling us out, growing it out apparently.
No bueno.
Awesome sauce. We can definitely pull up. I do have a presentation I can drop for you guys probably after, or yeah, I could probably come back in and put it above the video. Can't necessarily do it right this second. Otherwise, I would just be absent from the live. But yes, we'll pull it up, and it's a quick presentation for you guys. Obviously, we're not used to doing trainings at night. We usually get them done early in the morning, so a bit of a different scene for us, right?
Yeah.
But we wanted to make it more available for some people to come in and hang out with us live, interact with us, right? We're open books. You guys have questions, we'll answer them. We'll give you real, raw, transparent answers as far as like what we would do or what you could expect if you're looking to deploy something. And we're not just going to like give you some placebo answer in hopes of getting you to buy something from us, right? As we mentioned, we do have an offer for you guys that we would like to see some of you guys in here or in some of our paid programs, but it's completely fine if you don't, and the training will still be relevant whether you decide to or not. So,
hell yeah.
Hey, soldier right there.
2:38.
Stayed up till 3 a.m. to come hang out.
Jesus. Jeez Louise. All right, I love it. If y'all are ready for us to dive in, just put a ready in the comment section, and we'll go ahead and jump things off.
Okay.
Boom. Ready, Freddy. Love it. There it is.
Boom sauce. Yes. Yep.
We not to get into this part, but being how they asked, we'll share more about it towards the end. But right now, we just really want to make sure that we give y'all our exact business model and all the shit that comes with it, like the strategies, how we do what we do, like the ins and outs of it, so that you can go and deploy it immediately. For those of you that are like, tell me what to do, I'm going to do it. Like, this will be the thing you can go and start seeing some results, right? Monetary and non-monetary, especially if you've already got something to sell and you really just want to blow things up. Okay.
Boom sauce. So let's pull up the presentation. As a lot of you guys have probably seen, right? We're going to be talking about a piece of the model and a piece of the business that has been very important to us growing, right? And we have a polarizing opinion, a polarizing view on utilizing this strategy, right? And specifically, we're talking about short form video content, TikToks, Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, Pinterest idea pins. But we kind of take that approach and we kind of do the polar opposite of what a lot of people are teaching and talking about, where it's, emulate viral creators, create fake dopamine heavy side hustle content so you can acquire as many leads as possible. Whereas we're very heavy on creating very targeted content that isn't designed to go viral, but when it does, it's for the right things. It actually brings the right type of people into your worlds, into your groups, into your communities. So that's kind of one of the main premises we want to cover today with you guys, because this has been a key catalyst to like watching our clients' businesses radically change. Right? If they have a Facebook reel that gets 100,000 views and it's for the right people, and they grow that group by 1,000 people, leveraging a single 60-second video, their entire business changes, right? Like then their entire business can start to evolve because they've just built a community and a culture of people that actually want to be there for them, right? And like, not to give you guys like some false expectations, like if you look at a lot of our videos, and yes, I screenshotted Flip's videos, we don't go viral, we don't get mega views, we don't get millions of views on videos. It's not designed to get millions of views, right? Something that a line we coined from Zeki when we ran a training with him was antiviral content strategy. And that's kind of what we're going to be jamming on. A little bit of proof of concept. This is just through one of our Stripe accounts in the last 612 days. And we're practicing what we preach when it comes to creating this type of short form video content.
Yeah. And quick question for you guys. I know everybody scrolls social media. Like you might be an Instagram scroller or a Facebook reel scroller or TikTok. I can tell you right now, my fucking wife is addicted to TikTok. I've seen her reach the end of TikTok twice. That's how much she scrolls. If she happens to see this, she'll probably, fuck me up later. Anyways, how many of you have seen the super fluffy, unrealistic side hustle videos and just got pissed off because it was bullshit? If you have seen that, just put fluffy in the comments. Just I'm just out of curiosity. Like I'm just curious. Have you seen some shit that turned out to be bullshit and it pissed you off because it was fluffy as hell? Right? Like fluffy. See lots of fluffies. Okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't the only one. That's what attracted me to get on TikTok years ago, was how much fluffy bullshit I was seeing. So what we're talking about tonight is shit that we actually do day in and day out. You can go look at any of my content, any of Nate's content. It's all public everywhere. YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, you name it, right? Fluffy like Nate.
See, me and Jess are on the same wavelength, because that's exactly what went to my brain. I was gonna, fluffy like my physique. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yes, I mean, we've all seen it. I've done it. I used to do it, and I'll give you guys a real time example. Is when I first got onto the short form video game, I thought that was what I was going to be making a bunch of money with, and it built the wrong type of audience. It pulled the wrong type of people. Right. It was attracting the wrong type of people into my world, into my audience. And it was making it harder for me to actually convert sales. Right. Because there was more resistance. Right. You have to think about it on a little bit of a deeper level from like a content perspective. If you're creating a lot of content that's about how somebody's going to, make, $10,000 in the next 15 minutes with this super simple side hustle. Well, 16 minutes in, if they haven't made $10,000, they think the entire thing's broken. It actually makes it harder, in my opinion. But I used to create them. If you guys can guess what, and Ashley, you can answer this question. If you guys can guess what my first viral video is about, you guys would have a laugh. But before we do know, there's a lot of people in here that registered specifically for this free training. So we wanted to give you guys a bit of a, who we are, right? Because maybe why you should listen to us, maybe, some people we've helped, because we might be strangers to some of you guys.
Yeah. So just a quick introduction. I swear I'll take 2 minutes or less. I became known as Beardy McSwearman, which I just recently cut my beard off and I'm growing it back now. But a couple years ago, I really got fucked up with where I was at, because I was always working, and I missed the first 2 years with my daughters. My daughter Miranda was born in 2016, and my daughter Ashton was born in 2017. And I watched them both take their first steps and say their first words, which Miranda's was dada. I watched them through a text message video, and that shit just hit me wrong. I don't know why, but I was just like, I'm not going to watch my kids grow up that way. I have all the respect in the world for blue collar folks, but if you're a factory worker, a construction worker, or a nurse, you bust your ass and you work a fuck ton of hours, and you're likely burned the fuck out when you get off work. Okay, so I used to work 12-hour shifts, 60 to 90 hours a week, 7 days a week, swing shift, night shift, and day shift, and from 2017 to 2020, I was just dropping mad money on whatever courses I could out there, trying to figure out how to make that $10,000 a month, right? I basically donated $40,000 to courses and shit like that, trying to figure this out. But I did learn a lot of lessons with that 40 grand, even though I didn't make any money. Okay. So I finally got some traction in 2020 with Facebook organic marketing. And I didn't have any fancy funnels or automations or softwares. I was literally using just my Facebook profile and my messenger. All right. So I started making some high ticket commissions, and I did that by building a personal brand. All I was doing was posting on my personal profile about what I was learning, why I was learning it, what was driving me, lessons, struggles, setbacks, like all the real shit that most people don't share. All right. And despite being a country fella that says fuck a lot, I still did pretty well. So don't have folks telling you, oh, you got to be super professional and you got to sit up straight. Fuck that. Be yourself. If that's who you are, then be yourself. So I started doing things way differently than most of the other high ticket organic folks on Facebook in 2021. And I ended that year with $105,000 profit, not revenue, not some fluffy numbers. Like 105 grand came through my bank account. Okay. And I was just an affiliate selling multiple different things. All right. I noticed Nate and I were doing like the same shit because we had both kind of jumped on TikTok. He was already on there. So I found him, realized we were both in the same affiliate marketing mastermind and Jacob's inner circle. So we got challenged to put what we were doing into an offer because we blew Jacob's mind. At one point I had like 600 folks waiting to get in my group or some shit like that. It was something outrageous. I can't really remember. But we did that. 2022 was filled with nothing but growth, challenges, and lessons. And we did multi six figures in 2022. 2023, we got to multi six figures even faster. Okay. And the best part about it is, we helped a handful of folks also do six figures and multi six figures. Now, 2023 so far, we've crossed over $1.1 million in sales and built a $360,000 per year baseline. Like if we don't do any more work, or create any more content, we still make 360 grand a year. Okay. And I asked my wife just for shits and giggles a while back. I said, if you could describe me, what would it be? And she called me a loyal, caring smartass that's an intelligent asshole. So that's me, guys.
Mini beardy McSquare man now.
Yes.
I'm just a kid-sized adult. That's a little fluffy, if as you guys couldn't tell by the comments. Very similar ways to reasonings behind like the way Flip started, right? My daughter was born in 2017. The only experience that I ever had, I'm a high school dropout. Like we won't sugarcoat it. I got into a lot of trouble growing up. Grew up in a house full of dysfunction and addicts and stuff like that. And I didn't really have any like structure growing up. So I dropped out of high school and I went to like a trade school. So the only experience I had was working in, construction, right? Doing construction in the Northwest absolutely sucks because it rains a lot, right? Like it rains almost every single day. And, watching my daughter and like sacrifice, like destroying my body and stuff like that for minimum wage was, probably one of the weirdest feelings after I ended up getting sober. And, I started diving into the online world and I played around with just about every strategy you can imagine online. I struggled for 3 years, right? And that's not like thinking about building a business for 3 years and like, him hawing around it. I was consistently showing up in my business and like getting nowhere, right? I ran a digital marketing agency. That's where I had my first taste of success. I was selling Facebook ads as a service to business owners, cold calling companies off Yelp, cold emailing them, doing anything I could to, get them to let me run ads for them. But the reality is I didn't fucking know how to run ads, so I couldn't get them results. So I lost the clients, right? It's just, we'll be transparent about that. I pivoted into the affiliate space, and I did everything from plug and play, done for you affiliate marketing, solo ads, and you pay someone to send emails for you, all the way to the polar opposite. I built a massive blog, right? Even to this day, and this, if you guys have seen me on any lives, you'll hear me talk about this, right? I wrote 296,000 words on a blog on topics that nobody was looking for. And to add context, a Harry Potter book has about 60,000 words in it. I wrote a lot of content. So hit the organic Facebook game hard in 2020. It's not mentioned here, but after years of struggling, I made my first high ticket sale within 4 days of leveraging my Facebook profile that I already had. So I kind of realized that I needed to double down, and I had a strategy and a thing that I wanted to kind of lean into, because I was struggling very consistently for a very long time to having, success relatively quickly. Wrapped up 2021 over 100K in sales. And I won't repeat the results and the wins that Flip just mentioned that we've had in the last 2 years since launching one of our signature offers. The biggest thing is, I think the part that makes me the proudest is the fact that our client results are almost double of what we've done. Right. And that's it's not a made up number, right? Like, you can look at all the plaques that we ship out to people, all the awards we send out to clients. There's a lot of people who've had a lot of success with the model we teach and what we've helped them do. And that's fucking cooler than anything.
I think another big cool thing is we don't sell our program to folks so that they can sell it to other people. So out of, I don't know, probably more than 60 plaques we've sent out, I fucking lost count, but only 2 of them crossed, 10,000 or 100,000 selling group juice. And that was 2 folks that had already crossed $1 million. Like, they're actually multi 7-figure earners. That is Jacob Karras and Jamie Gardner. But they both saw the power in group juice and they decided to promote it to their audience. Other than that, everyone else did it with their own offers, things that they learned inside of group juice so that they could grow their own businesses with their own shit. So this isn't one of those circle jerks, okay? And we do have folks to promote group juice because it is so fucking different, and there's still a lot of people in the online space that need it, okay? So I think that's something to definitely mention.
So quick synopsis. I don't even know if that's the right English. I don't know where the hell that word came into my brain from, because I don't think I've ever used it, but whatever. How our micro video strategy is different from, yes, we did say Jamie Gardner. Yes.
Yep.
We ran a JV with him back in July. It was kick-ass, not this July, last year. Was a kick-ass one. Probably one of the coolest things we've done in business, right? Partnering with somebody for a while and running a case study group with some people. And it was awesome. He's in here. You could tag him.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Give him a wave. How our micro video strategy is different from most, right? There's no denying it. Short form video content is hot. Every platform has their own version of TikTok. Leverage it while you can. Now, we're not going to give you some, basic short form video content. We're going to go tell you to like hop on trends and look at, copying viral videos and going and modeling these big creators and doing all of this stuff. Because the reality is there is some correlation for these working well for growing followers, but that doesn't always mean it has any type of connection to how much you can actually sell, right? If we got paid per follower, it would be in the hundreds of dollars per follower, or maybe even 1,000, right? It's kind of a crazy concept when you look at it from the two sides, right? You can have this this massive audience that you're trying to build, where you're converting a very small percentage of those people, or you're selling a very small percentage of those people your products, or you can have a very targeted audience and you can sell a very high percentage of them on, either higher ticket products or retainer type products or subscription type products. And that's kind of how we operate our entire model, right? It's the other side of the spectrum, like very targeted content, like not trying to necessarily go viral. You're building a cult-like loyal following that wants to like be in your world, that wants to work with you, that wants to buy your product. And obviously this doesn't happen immediately. It happens over time. The more content people are consuming from you, the longer they're watching you, right? All of that stuff starts to compound. But you don't need a big audience. And I think the real power of this is when you start creating content in this fashion and you start worrying less about like the vanity metrics, like the views and all that stuff. When they do pop off, because you do still have the ability to go viral, it's for the right shit, right? It's way more powerful for you as a future brand owner or somebody who's looking to like simplify their business. It's a lot more. There's a lot more benefit to it to grow a like ecosystem with 1,000 people that actually know you and like want to work with you and they understand who you are as a person than it is to like grow it by 1,000,000 people that like maybe thought you had a cool shirt and that's why they followed you. There's going to be way more resistance for you to actually sell the products to those 1,000,000 people than it would be those 1,000 people. Right? Some of our biggest days ever online have been out of Facebook groups that were tiny. Right? The one that comes to mind is we had a $11,000 day out of a group of 48 or 43 people because
43.
the type of content that was used to produce the members of that community was very targeted. It wasn't designed to pull in millions of people.
Sauce.
An example of this, she might still be on the live with us, and we've had this happen a few times with people inside of Group Juice. Is like a Group Juice member, Jill, right? She took a single video and she grew a group by 2,000 people, and the power of that is like it was for the right things. Her business partner Jeanette just did it again, exploded her group with a single video, and it's for the right messages. And when you zoom out and you look at what that actually does to the business, is it changes everything because you're pulling these targeted like other human beings into your world, and over time those are going to become high paying clients, right? And a high percentage of them will become clients versus growing your group as much as you can and then trying to find like a needle in a haystack, trying to convert the 1 out of 1,000 people into your products.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah, see, they're both on here.
Boom. Some of the coolest ladies in the game. Not even joking. Let's see. Make sure caught up on comments. Cool. Let's jump on to the next one. So check this out. Now, there's a bunch of different styles of content that you can do. And again, I can't emphasize this enough. It does not matter what the fuck you sell. If you learn how to create content, then you're going to be better off. Because if you can go out and create attention and awareness from the right people, that is what is going to grow your bank account. It's going to grow your relationships. It's going to make you better as a person. And you're going to constantly be refining your skills to get better and better. All right. So we got pretty good at turning simple 5 seconds to 180-second videos into sales. All right. So styles, your short, long text videos. We do got some video examples. So whenever Nate drops a presentation, you'll be able to go in and check these out. All right. So you'll get to see those in real time. The short length videos with big bulky text on them, so that the consumers and the folks watching your shit can read it. Right. These can work in a pinch if you're like pressed for time and you don't have a whole lot of time to create content. Just record simple videos of you doing shit at home or driving or out in public, just your everyday, day-to-day shit. Like I've done plenty of videos where I was just making coffee, right? Got pretty good views. Now, and then you can just add text on the screen based on the message that you want to share. Okay. The talking videos, again, there's another video example there when you get to look at it. You dropping knowledge and sharing your own perspectives and views and experiences and lessons. These will usually get fewer views, which is like it's probably the most common videos that we do. They get fewer views and less engagement, but they will do a kick-ass job with connecting with the folks that you want to connect with, right? You will attract the occasional jackass or troll from time to time as well. But just hit them with a bless your heart and keep it moving. Block them. Don't worry about them. All right. Now, trends. There's a right time and a wrong time to use trends. Do not use trends as your all the time content strategy. Okay. These can work good for initial quick growth, but again, wouldn't turn them into your core focus or like the main thing that you do, because those are the ones that are probably going to give you the most problems as far as, who you're attracting. We want to teach you how to build like a real personal brand so that folks can put your face to a certain message, right? Like most folks know, like me and Nate, we're not about the bullshit. We're not fluffy. We're not laying down to do that bullshit to make a sale, right? So we want you to be able to build a brand and an engaged audience that fucking love you and like you for your views and where you stand on business, life, parenting, the whole nine. All right. Not become just a carbon copy of everyone else that, I know damn good and well you've probably seen, 20 people in a day create the same fucking video and they're over there like, I don't know why I'm not making any sales. It's because you look like everyone else. All right. So stitches and duets are next. These are really good. I need to do more of them myself. A duet example is like if you see someone else sharing something that you really agree with or you think it would be valuable to your audience, you just duet it, right? Do that. It's easy content to create and it lets folks know that, hey, you share the same view with this person and you can kind of borrow their authority in a way if it's like a highly known person so that they kind of know, okay, well, Flip's got the same views as, XYZ. Again, easy content. It's easy to spin them off into your own and add more shit to it. Like if they left something out you wanted to add, you can stitch it and put your own spin on your own perspectives. Even it might be different, right? You might want to use it as a complete opposite. Someone says something fucking stupid and it's bullshit, and you want to kind of like, hey, this is why this is bullshit. Just be prepared for a little bit of fuckery on the back end of those, but use them to your best advantage. Responses, so doing like reply videos to comments. I really enjoy doing them because if someone leaves a comment, whether it's controversial or someone asking for more information, you answer one question from one person, but it has the ability to be seen by lots of other folks that may have the same question, but they're too afraid to answer it. And you get to drop value and show that you actually know your shit and get seen by more people. All right. It's an awesome way to build like connections and respond to folks. And it personalizes it. Like if you see, say Jess comments on my shit and I do a reply video saying, hey, Jess, saw your question. Wanted to drop this to you and, do this video just for you. Now, other people get to see it and it's a win-win no matter how you look at it. So last, posting guidelines, 2 hours between posts. If you're going to be posting like a lot of videos, you want to keep them kind of spaced out. Do like 10 a.m., 1 o'clock, 4 p.m., 7. If you have the bandwidth and the capacity to do so, I'd aim for 2 to 5 pieces of short form video content per day. If you don't have the bandwidth and the capacity to do that, don't stress. Just be consistent in whatever you can do, even if it's one video a day. One video a day, consistent for 60 days. That's 60 times that you have the potential to be seen by the right folks. Okay. If you're doing things where you're adding music, if you see the same music getting used over and over again on, say, like TikTok or Facebook or Instagram, it's a good indicator that sound is trending. So you can use it. It's not super important, but it does give you more chances to be seen. Your volume, like you speaking, if you're speaking in it, you want to keep that at 130. Put your music at 5. That way the music doesn't drown out what you're trying to say. When I was just getting started on videos, I had a lot of folks comment and say, hey, Flip, we can't hear what the fuck you're saying because your music's too loud. So that was an error on my part. So don't get caught with your pants down on that one. Hashtags, we kind of have like a bit of a different view on those. Sometimes I post without hashtags and I still get the same amount of views. But if you are going to use hashtags, look at two niches or two categories where it's like too broad, one trend, right? So aim for like less than 1 million views on the hashtag. Anything above that, you're just going to go out into a big sea of so many folks that your video is probably not going to be seen. So when you type in your hashtag and you see that it has 1 million or less, that's typically a good one. Even better if it's like 10 to 20,000, because it's a smaller pool of folks where you have more chances of getting seen. All right. It's not crucial to the growth, right?
Yeah, the ultimate goal with, like, as Flip mentioned, the hashtags, like, people get so hung up on what hashtags do I use, and like it's not going to make or break the content. And the reality is like the hashtag strategy is like going to be more important for like search or dominating certain areas. If people are looking for certain topics, that's one reason why we mention, doing like smaller, because if say you have a hashtag that has, 30,000 views on it, and you start using that same hashtag for the next, 8 weeks, you're going to be one of the main people that show up in there. Right. But they're not going to make or break your content. That's like a very big, like mythical creature that a lot of people like. Hashtag strategies aren't, it's not a thing. Like it's not the end of the world. Right. I think I use one hashtag religiously, which is just hashtag group juice, because I want everybody and their mother to see me when they Google group juice. That's it. Yeah, it's bedtime for them.
Yeah. They'll probably come in again, which, we have our kids on our lives sometimes, and sometimes they act a fool, and sometimes they're just as sweet as they can be.
Quick feedback for Spencer. Super easy to do, my man. If you see a video you like or a video that you potentially want to stitch, just hit the share button, and then there's 2 options: stitch and duet on the video.
Yep. Yep.
And then it's right there. And then you can
so
choose how long you want it to be or anything like that. You can stitch or duet your own videos.
Watch your step. And this one right here, this could be for TikTok hashtags, Instagram hashtags, or even Facebook. So like anywhere where there's short form content, right?
I mean, if you redrop it, comments are like hard to keep up with. So we will open up for like a dedicated Q&A at the end too. We'll run through everybody's questions. But if you have something pressing that you want to ask, feel free to drop it again, and I'll get you answered. Hashtag bedtime. Yeah.
All right, we're not doing too terrible. Please be careful. Right there. We're not doing terrible on time, guys. But if like you post your questions, we are going to do a full blown Q&A at the end. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, it doesn't populate for me, Jess, when you tag on it. It just shows your comment. So feel free to redrop it. We'll run through the next slide, and then we'll open up at the end for any questions as well too.
Yep. We won't leave any questions unturned, we promise, no matter how long it takes.
So let's talk about the post structure, right? Like there's a shout out to Jeanette and Jill. They're both on these lives, like they're right there. See their face. The post structure, right? The 0 to 5 seconds, the hook, right? This is arguably probably one of the most important parts of your content, right? The thing to think about is what you're putting in your content is more important than like anything else, right? It's not the fucking algorithms. It's not that TikTok hates you. It's not that Pinterest hates you. It's your content. It's like what you're producing content on, right? It's how you're formulating that actual content and stuff like that. That's actually going to make or break the success that you have in business, right? And realistically, it's not going to, if you're a brand new creator, you've never got on video, you've never created short form video content, you're probably gonna suck. I sucked for the longest time. I was cringy. I was awkward. I was weird. I was very uncomfortable. Right? It's not a natural thing to get up and talk to a camera, like especially like in a room with other people, and like it still feels weird even to this day. Right? So we'll talk about the post structure, but don't necessarily worry too much about like making this magic happen extremely quickly. And the biggest thing I will implore you guys to think about is like building a habit of being consistent. That's one thing that I would want you guys to take away from today's training is following this structure and building your own cadence of consistently posting content, because it'll get better. It will change your life. And like if you don't start getting consistent with it, nothing else happens. Right? That's the reality of it. So 0 to 5 seconds, the hook, right? How we did 500K plus in 13 months without sales calls. So that's a true thing, right? We've done 2,400 payments, and we've done less than 12 sales calls total. We don't do calls. We don't do Zooms. We don't teach our clients to pack their calendar with Zooms. And so like if you're using hooks, right? Think about, things like dopamine stuff or funny humor, right? If you have a sense of humor like me, right? Like the dude that's making the video about the 22 inches of Subway, and they're like, hey, have you ever had 22 inches of meat in your mouth? And I'm stitching that shit because I'm like every night, but then I'm rolling into my regular content, right? Like think about what's going to stop somebody from scrolling, right? Like a lot of people will start their videos off like, hey, I'm like, so-and-so, like they're already gone, right? They're already gone. Think about something that you can start the video off with. People do visual hooks too, right? You could slide into the camera. You could move the phone. You could do, you could do all sorts of different things to like stop the person from continuously mindlessly scrolling.
Yep.
5 to 40 seconds, right? Body solution reveal. So it's like this is like a real-time example of what that would look like, right? So the hook would be how we did, 500K in 13 months without sales calls, right? And then the middle of the video would be like, one, we've created short form video content pointing to a Facebook group where we're then leveraging long form content to build connections and provide deeper levels of value, then kickstart conversation off the long content and leveraging a Google Doc to close the sales, right? That's kind of like the body, right? We're talking, if you have an overall goal or you have an overall thing that you want, a point you want to get across in your video, think about utilizing that as the hook, as the start of the video, the feeling that you want the person to feel, what you want them to gain from it, what you want them to take away from watching the entire video. That's how you'd want to start the video, right? So if you're talking about, hey, like I struggled in business for, 3 years, it could be something like, hey, I want to save you 3 years of struggle when it comes to building your online business, right? Yep. It's about them. It's about a struggle. It's about what I'm going to actually give them if they watch this video.
Yeah.
Right. People are inadvertently selfish. They want something, right? So if you can make it about them while keeping it congruent to what you've done or what you've gone through, it's a win-win scenario.
Yeah.
Yes, this is definitely live.
Live. We're live. Live right meow.
Yep. Right meow.
Meow.
Might be a little bit of a delay, but yeah, we are live. Some type of CTA, whether it's to follow you, comment, share, check out the link, finger punch the follow button, right? Like give somebody something that you want to do. Now, the thing to think about is if you do start hammering CTAs is you'll start throttling certain engagements and stuff, but you can always be a little bit more creative with this, right? Like, hey, after I hit 1,000 followers, I'm going to start going live 3 times a week, and I'm going to be documenting my process to building $100,000 a year online business. That's incentivizing people to follow you because you're going to be giving them something when they do follow, right?
One thing I'll add on the CTAs is it's like if you want folks to follow you or you want them to join your group or you want them to comment something so they can get something or you want them to see something, whatever the hell it might be, don't leave any room for them to be guessing what you want them to do. make that shit specific as fuck. Like, Jess's favorite word, specificity, right? The more specific you can be, the better off you're going to be, because you leave no room for error. Like, if I want someone to join my group so they can get the ROI checklist training, where you can make sure that you run promos that actually make money, all you got to do is join my group. You can go to my profile, hit that link, and you'll get 3 questions. You answer those 3 questions, you get in the group, and I send you that shit immediately. Boom, that's super specific call to action, right? So just be specific in your stuff. This last little smidget I'll hit real quick, Nate. When I first jumped on TikTok, I grew my first TikTok account to 40,000 followers. And then I had some little jackass person on one of my lives asking me bad questions, got me triggered. Anyways, I got my TikTok account banned. And I lost those 40,000 followers, did not get that account back. But with what I knew, I started a new account and I grew it to 20,000 followers in less than 30 days and monetized it immediately, right? What I focused on was the EEM formula, which is entertainment, education, and motivation. So like all my content was either to entertain, educate, or motivate, or in one video, all 3, right? That was all I did. Less than 30 days, I was doing like 2 to 5 videos a day. All my call to actions was to follow me, right? And I built it to 20,000 very quickly. Okay.
A really cool thing to think about, especially if you're brand new to content creation or you're like just looking to get into like the short form game, is that if I was starting over again, I would really look at creating a series and like creating a journal online, right? Like, hey, I'm going to be documenting and you'll see a lot of big creators and small creators do this, but hey, I'm going to be documenting my journey from, where I'm at now. And I'm going to shoot consistent content very regularly. I'm going to be actually talking about how that journey's going. Right now that will shed a little bit of light on like, transparency and being vulnerable. Like if you tried a strategy and you didn't make money with it, right? Like don't go out there and lie and create content like, hey, I tried this thing and it worked great. And like you haven't made a sale with it yet. Start actually utilizing your content as a journal, right? And I know that's something you hear a lot of people talk about all the time, but it's probably one of the lowest pressure ways that you can actually go into content creation, because you can simply talk about what you're doing, things you're learning, things you're trying, things you're doing, like actively doing in the business. The only problem with this is like, one, this will give you the ability to eliminate any need to like, worry about like customer avatars or do all that stuff, because it's just a previous version of you, right? Your ideal client is just a previous version of you. But the only problem that people really run into that is they don't actually do enough stuff or like give themselves a long enough window to have a previous version to talk to, right? Yeah. You never tried anything, then you don't really have anybody to like talk about going through that struggle, right? But that's kind of how I like to look at content. The biggest thing, test, different styles, lengths, variations. Content performs well for me, might not perform well for you, and vice versa. You have to find your content. You have to find your message, the style that you create. Because like we can't give you some copy and paste framework to go create short form video content that's going to change your life. Because even if that type of content works really well for us to convert sales, it does not mean it will do the same for you. You're a different person. You're a different human being. You have a different tonality, have a different life story, everything, right? It's not as black and white, right? So go through the styles we broke down earlier in the presentation and test different angles. The more you test, the more you're playing around with, the more data you'll have and see what will actually work for you as an individual, right? This is going to be different for everybody, right? And then obviously when you figure out styles that are working, double down on the one that's working and stop doing the ones that aren't. Right? If you've been posting, like don't be like me and write a blog that has a massive amount of content on it simply because I never analyzed what was actually going on in my business. Right? Like I never took a step back and like, hey, is this content actually moving me towards sales? It's like, no, I'm just going to show up. And I'm just going to write all this shit. And and I'm going to do all this stuff in my business and I'm going to be a millionaire. Right? My
Yeah.
blog has probably made a few $1,000s because I never pivoted or optimized based on actual feedback that my audience was giving me.
Yep. And before we go to the next slide, and I'll break that down for you guys, I want to give y'all an example in real time. So you can see right now, I've got TikTok pulled up, right? This one little hack that most people sleep on and don't do enough of is jump cuts. And I'll do one really quick for you in real time, and then I'll play it back to you on the screen. But a jump cut is just you videoing one section of you, right, and then stopping. So like I do a lot of videos where I'll press and then talk, or press and record, and then I'll stop. Then I'll change views, or I might go outside. I might change my environment. I might change the angle. And it's just a way to keep your audience's attention. So it's like, hey, do you want to get more views on TikTok? You stop, you go and get another angle. We're running a live training showing folks how to do this right now. Then if I come over here and I change it and I go to my 100K plaque, hey, I've done, multi six figures online. And if I wanted to do a CTA right now, you can go get this replay of this training that we, ran yesterday. Today, you can have it for free, and it'll be something to help you grow your business, especially if you're a content creator. Now, that right there, I'm going to save this. I'll probably fucking post it tomorrow because I just did it for you in real time. Now I'm going to play it for you and let you watch it. We're running a live training showing folks how to do this right now. Hey, I've done, multi six figures online. Right now, you can go get this replay of this training that we, ran yesterday. Today, you can have it for free, and it'll be something to help you grow your business, especially if you're a content creator. Now, that right there, the only reason that is, something I wanted to bring up is because of the attention span of humans in today's time, because of TikTok and shit like that, is very fucking short. So you have to do things in order to keep their attention while also speaking words verbally that they want to see and they want to hear. Like Nate said earlier, folks are selfish. All of us are in some way, form, or fashion. So you have to tap into that and keep their attention by hitting them with dopamine and making it about them. If that was helpful, hopefully it was. Let me know in the comments. But I just wanted to share that with you real quick. Do more jump cuts. Change your environment. Change your angle. Test more shit, just like this slide says.
And I'll bring up this quick that's the point of your content, right? Your content is to filter your audience and build the type of people that either want to work with you or don't want to work with you. You don't have to be for everybody, right? The type of business, like it's almost, in my opinion, more beneficial to be more selective with the type of people you sell products to than to sell to everybody and their mother, right? It's a big reason why we talk about playing longer term. Expect to spend 6 to 12 months of consistency if you actually want to replace your job's income. Because we want the right people in our products, because that's more important than making more money to us. We could be unethical and sell everybody and their mother our products, but at what cost?
Yeah. We don't want to be those folks who's like, hey, let me help you make $100,000 in the next 36 hours. Guaranteed. Just give me 10 grand. Fuck that. Like, hey, here's our true marketing message right now, guys. Hey, if you're not willing to go hard for 3, 6, and 12 months, don't buy our shit. That's it. And that's just facts, right? It's going to take you 3 months to start building momentum. It's going to take you 6 months to really have your foundations and basics in place where you're like, fuck yeah, this all makes sense now. And then about 12 months is when your fucking life changes. All right. So we're trying to go through this as quick as possible, and we are going to answer all your questions. So a simple tactic to get more eyeballs. The more eyeballs you can get, like, it's more attention, more views, more folks that are, potentially going to want to get more from you. Okay. One of the best aspects of leveraging short form videos like TikTok is you can actually leverage one piece of content on multiple social media platforms. Right. So like we use something, a software, repurpose. A lot of you might use it. If you want to get it from us, let us know. We are affiliates. Fuck yeah. Be transparent in your shit. But we use that. So I post one TikTok, right? I do content one time. It goes to YouTube Shorts. It goes to Instagram. and then it goes to my Google Drive so I can use that video without a watermark anywhere else. Right now, just to give you an example, if I post on TikTok, it doesn't do that well, but fucking blows up on YouTube. Like I've gained 300 YouTube subscribers and trickled in some sales just because I posted on TikTok, right? So YouTube is growing, subscribers are growing, sales are trickling in because we decided to create an omnipresence on social media. So establishing omnipresence for your brand without having to do any extra work is like the smartest fucking thing you can do. Literally create one piece, put that shit in 5 other places, and you can have that part automated, right? Now, I'm not techie. You can ask anybody that fucking knows me, especially Nate. I'm not a tech wizard, and I was able to set it up. All right. So TikTok, Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, and Facebook Reels and Facebook Stories is like killer right now, because if you're going to grow your own Facebook group and monetize that, which is what we go heavy on, is culture and community. It's what we teach. Your Facebook Reels and your Facebook Stories has got like this fucking synergy that can't be fucked with. Even if Zuckman is an asshole, you can still get around that and grow your group very well. Another one is Pinterest Stories, YouTube Shorts, like I was just talking about. And like I said, the cool thing is, oh, my TikTok video didn't do well. You fuck around and go look at Instagram or YouTube, like, fuck, those went viral. And like, fuck, 40 people joined my Facebook group. Fuck, 3 sales came from that. So omnipresence is something that's also slept on. And it's like the easiest thing you can do. It's just repurposing videos that you've already created, especially if they've done well, right? Just more eyeballs, more leads, more sales, straight like that.
Yeah, and we'll kind of riff on the structure of it too, because we're not imploring you guys to go out there and master 5 or 6 different platforms, right? The way that we like to look at it is like, yeah, you can create this massive omnipresence and awareness, but you need to have a hub where you centralize all that attention, right? Which for us is groups, right? Facebook groups. We just launched a school community, last month. A centralized hub for where you can like build the deeper relationships, but you can cast this wide net on your actual short form video content. That's the point of it, right? So you want to create this omnipresence. The more times that people see you and the longer that they've been seeing you, the less resistance you have when it comes to actually presenting offers, right? That's the number one thing. Like people are like, hey, I haven't made sales. It's like, well, how much content has that person consumed from you? They watched 1 60-second video. Well, why would they be comfortable buying anything from you? Right? The longer the people are in your worlds, the more content they're consuming, the easier it is to sell them products and work with them, right? Because they know you, they understand you, they actually see like how you do things, how you don't do things, who you aren't looking to work with, right? Like it's all a cumulative effect, the content.
Yeah.
And just because you don't have one video, like a video that performs well on one platform, it still has the ability to do well on a different one, right? Like this specific video of Baby Nate, that did get 4 million views on it. I think that video got 600 views on TikTok, got 4 million views on Facebook.
Yep. Same thing for me. I had one on TikTok. It might have got 800 views, got 4.5 million on Facebook. And it was like folks that I was really trying to attract. And that was one of the videos that brought hundreds of people into my group. And of those hundreds of people, I was able to help a shit ton of them and also create 6 figures for myself, right? So like that's the power of one fucking video. Like the way you need to look at this is like, okay, I need to set a goal to create 1,000 pieces of content, right? I'm going to do 1,000 videos, in a year or in 6 months or however the fuck hard you want to go, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's like, if you create 1,000 videos, you're going to get really fucking good at videos. And one of those videos has the potential to change your life and your business. So that folks say, why do you post on TikTok? Because I have a fucking message that people need to see. They need to know that, hey, it's not just the only thing you can do in life is break your back for someone else and be micromanaged forever and never see your friends and your family and don't see your kids grow up, never take the vacations that you really want to. There's another fucking way to do shit like that, right? And if you hear me loud and clear, Let me get a hell yeah in the comments.
Info is gold. Actually do affiliate marketing. We can kind of riff on that too. Is like affiliate marketing is purely one piece of the business.
Yep.
Right. That's one thing that we kind of differ from a lot of people, and the way we talk about it is like people get so hung up on the affiliate product or like whether I'm doing affiliate marketing or digital marketing, and like it's just the monetization piece. And to monetize, you need to have other things in place. That's why we're talking about creating content that acquires attention, because without the attention, you can't sell products. You can't even have the opportunity to sell products unless you have the attention. Right?
Yeah.
People like to try to monetize right now, or like, hey, I need to do this, but it's cause and effect, right? It's this type of stuff that gives you the opportunity to sell products, to actually monetize your following, to monetize your content, because you're showing up, you're building these relationships with people at scale. At its core, affiliate marketing is the simplest business model that gets very overcomplicated. You have a product that you love, that you like, that you stand behind, that you preferably bought, especially if you're selling information, because you can't sell information and a transformation to somebody if you haven't been through that transformation yourself, or you know what that transformation is like, right? That's going to be the number one killer to sales. Like, hey, if I'm going to pull out my wallet and buy this $1,500 thing from you, what's inside? And you're like, I don't know. They're not going to buy it. Like, that's the reality of it. Another thing too is like, you just create content and you talk about the thing, right? Look, all of you, like, this is for the ladies, right? How many of you guys have seen Hilera leggings on TikTok? Probably every single one of you.
Yeah.
They're talking about a product they like. They get commissions if somebody buys that product.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
So it looks like we're going to have like a bomb ass Q&A session, because I do see questions coming through, but we want to make sure that we get through this for you guys, and you guys will get a copy. So just stick around, bear with us. Is this like valuable for you guys? Has it been worth your time so far? Like, no shit. Like, we're really trying to give y'all exactly what we do and how we do it. So if this is helpful to you, and this is like, free training that's worth a fuck, like, please let us know in the comments, because we have this thing where we have to over deliver. So we want to make sure that we're holding up our end of the bargain, right? Cool.
Yeah, I can't even speak on that. So what we need to know about short form video, like, we're going to talk about Reels specifically. We were probably one of the first people to like really dive into Facebook Reels and like start giving it to our clients. If you are planning on building your business on Facebook in some form or some fashion, then I'm going to encourage all of you to get on Reels. Reels is extremely powerful. One, because it's very congruent to actually building your business. You have to think about it from like a little bit of a deeper standpoint, right? If you're creating content, let's say on like TikTok, right? There's no community feature on TikTok. It's extremely difficult to get in the DMs with people, right? It's just the main medium is, hey, here's a short form video content, and here's a link in my profile, which can work. I'm not saying that does not work for making sales. Like, the proof is in the pudding. A lot of people have done that. But if you want a little bit more control of your business, you want to be a little bit more proactive with talking to people and accelerating those relationships by actually being social with somebody on social media, Facebook is probably my number one recommendation. And the reason for that is you can tap into all of it. You have the short form video content. You have like the ability to write written content or record video content on your profile. You have stories, you have Messenger, you have communities, right? You literally have everything that you could really need to build a six-figure business of your own, literally sitting on your Facebook profile right now. And I say that with confidence because me and Flip both did it. right? That was where the majority of our sales and success came from, was our Facebook profiles. Still is to this day, right? Obviously, we have
Yeah.
groups and short form video content and stuff like that. Now we've started rolling out other groups off other platforms, but um, we're big on communities, right? Having your short form video content feed some type of community, because it allows you to start building those relationships with at scale with people. It gives you a little bit more opportunity to build more intimacy, right? So you can really start building your own ecosystem in your own world. That's what's going to give you guys the long-term security in anything that you do, right? Especially if you're an affiliate and you're like just been growing this company's community for the last 12 months. Like, well, what happens when that company stops trending, right? If you guys want to actually have long-term success and not like a flash in the pan success, you need to start thinking about building your own tribe and your own culture of people, so that way you guys can be around in 10 years and still have a six-figure business of your own, and not make a company a bunch of money, and then when they stop trending, you're kind of left at square one to start over. I've had the
Yeah.
same group my entire journey in business. Same exact community that
Same.
you guys are watching this live in right now. I started this group when I first started my business, and it's been the same group. Right?
Same.
Without this group, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at.
1000%. And the thing is, me and Nate, we started, like, both of us started our groups, and we hadn't done a whole lot of shit, but we documented the entire process. For the one that wants to go back and look, like, you can go back as far as you want in my group, and you can see things happen in real time. But that goes for all of our public content too, right? So it's like, if you don't have some kind of group where you can, like, really hang out with folks and give them more of you, then you definitely should. And if you don't, you're leaving money on the table. I don't give a fuck what you sell. I don't even care if you don't know what you're going to sell yet. You should still have a group. And that's because you can document everything and let folks really follow closely. Like, hey, I'm going to build, and I said this in the past. I said, I'm going to build a six-figure business that puts me at home with my wife and kids. I said that before I did that. And I said, I'm going to document it here and in my group. So make sure you follow me and make sure you're in my group, because I'm going to be sharing the most cool, valuable shit from all of my lessons inside of my group. And that's exactly what the fuck I have did. And there's folks in my group that have not done shit for 3 years, and they've watched me blow up for 3 years. I can only imagine how they're feeling about, the cost of inaction. Anyways, that's a whole nother thing.
I do see a lot of questions getting dropped. We will come back to them. So don't worry.
Yep.
We have a very bad tendency, and I'll be transparent, with getting extremely long-winded. So if we started going through the questions now, we wouldn't even get to the presentation. So we only got a few more slides for you guys, but we will run through every single question you guys have. So
1000%. Hold on to them. So look, check this out. Let me blow this up so I can see it better on my end. This is where steroids came into play. And I'm not talking about like juicing up so you can get big in the gym. I'm talking about digital steroids for our businesses, right? Steroids for us is like who's primarily running their biz on Facebook in some fashion, because that was us back in the day. This is really going to be what's going to change the game for you if you stay consistent in deploying it. All right. Like these Facebook reels and just short form content as a whole, they do best when you treat them as like a singular piece to the business. Just kind of like, you got multiple pieces to a puzzle. These are some very important pieces. All right. You need to have space where folks can get more from you. That's the group, right? Everything else outside of it, externally, like your TikTok, your Instagram, all that stuff, that's like the highlight. Like, obviously, you can't teach somebody how to do something in 60 seconds, right? I see videos that go viral where they're like, well, let me show you how to do this in 60 seconds. That's fucking bullshit. But what you can do is be transparent. Like, hey, I can't give you all the sauce right now, but I'm going to give you the gist of it. And you give them the dopamine. And you say, hey, look, I got this happening over in my group. I'm going to run a training on this tomorrow. And you can get it, all of it, the full-blown training to show you exactly how to do X, Y, Z without ABC. And then you bring them over. and you give them the sauce in your group. You build the goodwill. You be a good fucking human, and you tell people the truth and tell them what the work involves and what it looks like, right? The whole goal of these types of videos is to fuel your group so you can build, relationships, right? I got this other thing that I've been known to say is relationships over revenue. If you build the relationships first and you get to know the folks, like I'm so happy I see so many new names that I don't know you guys, but I'm looking forward to getting to know you if you engage in my content and not someone that lurks in the shadows, right? I want to build relationship with you guys and see what you're all about and see if you want to do some cool shit. But the point is you want to get folks in your group. Inside the group is where you share more good shit. That's where the relationships are built at scale. And then you find out who wants to work with you more closely to do the amazing shit that you can teach them how to do or sell them your product, whether it's a physical product, digital product, coaching, services, real estate agent, whatever it might be. But you're going to, leverage the attention from short form video to get more eyeballs onto your long form content that does a lot of the heavy lifting. Like I can go out and write a post and someone who's already been in my group for a while, they know I'm about to drop some shit that's going to hit them between the eyes and help them with either a perspective change or a strategy or a lesson that they need to really see, right? But it pre-sales and it builds the deeper connection with folks. And this is when folks start to make their own buying decisions before you ever talk to them, right? We get messages every single month saying, hey, Flip, hey, Nate, I already know your shit's what I need based on, this training that I just watched of you guys. Can you send me the checkout link? Right? We don't have to get on sales calls. We don't have to pack a fucking calendar. We don't have to join all the Facebook groups. We don't have to do fluffy ass content. We do real ass content. It doesn't get a lot of virality, but it does all the heavy lifting so folks know what we're about before they ever make a buying decision. All right. This is what created layers for us in our business, something we picked up from working with Jacob. But your profile, any other external places you're creating content becomes a highlight reel, snippets of life, business, what's happening, what you're doing, who you're helping, stuff like that. And then the group, right? You know how that saying goes, you hating from the club, you can't even get in. Like your group is the club. That's where you pop bottles and drink bub and have a good fucking time and dance and hit the floor and, all that good shit. Everything else externally, that's folks waiting to get in the club. Like, and they see all the shit, right?
Where you get wiggled.
Yes, where you get wiggled, as Nate would say. But that's the whole thing. Everything else outside of it's a highlight to show people why they should be in there. And then that's where you give them like actual valuable shit. We've got free trainings in our groups that probably crush a lot of the paid trainings out there, even to this day. A lot of folks have stolen our information anyway. So we give it away for free. We don't bullshit. If you want to work with us closely, it's going to be mainly to get our advanced strategies and weekly coaching. That's like our biggest selling point because we go live with our students every fucking week. We have for the last 2 years. But that's the sauce for you guys real quick.
Visual breakdown of this model, right? So this is our actual representation. And the one thing I will challenge you guys to look at is like, for those of you guys that just came into the group, or like, I know this would be kind of hard, especially if you came in for like somebody who recommended this training, but look at how you ended up here and you'll see that you're kind of how you went through this process, right? You're maybe going through this exact process with us right now, right? This is what we do in our business, right? Like this free training. I've been creating content about this free training for the last 10 days. So everything I'm doing in my TikToks, everything that I've been doing in my group has been about this live that we're running, right? Because we were going to build relationships with this training. And as we mentioned in the beginning, some of you guys will want to work with us, take us up on an offer. Some of you guys don't, and that's completely fine. But that's the goal of this, right? We're casting a net to create attention around something we're doing in our group. And then we're utilizing the group to accelerate those relationships and, move people along the spectrum of either deciding like, hey, these dudes are kind of douches and I don't like them and they cuss too much and whatever, or like, hey, these dudes these dudes are a vibe and I would like to potentially see what they can help me do. That's all we're doing, right? And that's all you guys end up doing in your business, whether you're selling, you want to get people to come and hang out and buy more food at your food truck, or you want to get more leads for your mortgage lending business. It's all the same, right? You're just creating more attention around potential things that you have to offer and services, and you're helping people get ready and feel comfortable to even make that decision, right? Because that's the reality of it. People need to feel comfortable with doing that.
Yep.
Yeah, Angela's been a badass, just dropping the bombs.
Oh, hands down. Now, your stuff doesn't have to be as busy, right? You could, like me and Nate, we started with just Facebook profile, Facebook group, messenger conversation. That was how simple our business was, and we made literally full-time incomes doing that. But now we've made it easier to where you can make more money and create more leverage by working with, the right folks that that don't want to buy from you just because you're going to help them make $1 million in 60 seconds. But they're like, hey, this person was honest. They told me exactly what I needed to hear. They helped me set realistic expectations. And they showed me that, a regular ass person can do this. Right. That's really the name of the game. Like we don't give a fuck what you want to sell. We just want to help you sell it ethically so that you can kind of like take back control. Like, I don't know about, everyone, but if I'd have had someone hit me up in the beginning, like, hey, Flip, you're doing all this shit and you don't need to be, let's just simplify it. Like, I would have paid so much fucking money for that. Like, I'm not even joking. If someone would have helped me simplify shit to make it all make sense and walk me through a step-by-step process, I would have saved 3 years and I'd have hit my first 100 grand that much quicker. That is why Nate and I created Group Juice. Like, no shit. That is why we created shit the way that we created it. All right.
Now, turning your content into sales, right? Let's talk about like the overall process and the overall model of like actually taking a view and turning it into a conversion. Now, the thing to understand is like the buying journey is going to be different for everybody, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody who comes into your group and or somebody who starts following you today isn't probably going to be more inclined to pull out their credit card and buy a $1,500 product from you. They just started watching you. That's why we talk. That's why we hammer and we probably repeat ourselves over and over again about consistency, because it's crucial to like actually building these relationships with people, because like they're going to need time, right? Especially if you're talking about like somebody bought something else and they had a very bad experience with it and they're coming to you, right? There's other variables at play that you have to kind of think about. So this is kind of the flow: traffic sources, content creation, right? TikTok, Instagram, Facebook profile, Facebook stories, right? This is where I'm casting a wide net, right? This is where I'm casting a wider net to like, hey, this is what I do. This is the type of people. This is the type of people I potentially work with. This is like me with my daughter, a lot of lifestyle stuff, talking about just me, who I am, right? Identification would be like a group members area, right? Sending everybody into a group. If you look at how this training was structured, we created all this attention. Affiliates created this attention around this training that we're running, and we're running this training in our group. Now, on a deeper level, the reasoning behind that, some of you guys are going to like what we have to say, and you're going to continue to consume the content in the group, right? You're going to continue to build relationships with us. You're going to like continue to be here with us, right? Nurturing, connecting, right? Interaction, right?
You see what Nate's doing? He's telling you what's going to happen because it's already happening. Like, there's no more better proof in the pudding than what he just said. Just saying.
Nurture phase, 3A, nurture phase, tagging new members, right? Green members on relevant content. Get them as active as possible in your community. Start punching them in the face with value. This is a big thing. The big thing, right? The diamond below the first group is that, yes, that is build an email list, right? Grab emails in the members area of a group. Yes, 100%. That's kind of the cool part about building a group. You can build your list in unison. If you look at this, and I know this sounds like a very daunting task for somebody who's never created content or somebody who's just looking to get started. Like, hey, I have all this stuff that I need to put in my group. You need to start talking about who you are. Start writing content, maybe start running some videos, maybe start talking about who you are, what you're doing, what are your goals, what are things you're planning on doing, right? You need to start nurturing those relationships with the people coming into your group, because it's going to start shrinking the sales process in the back end, right? If somebody comes into your group and they're like, "Hey, here's an offer," it's there's no incentives for them to actually purchase, right? You need to still maintain building that relationship. And the paradox with growing a group, the more you have in a community, the easier it is to grow, because you can just put something in your group and then I can go talk about that publicly. Hey, I just dropped this free live training. Would challenge all of you guys to watch our content this week, because we're going to be doing this. We're going to be talking about this live. Hey,
Yeah.
we ran this thing. Might be something worth 90 minutes of your time. 3B, pushing to an offer. People coming into your community who are struggling, already problem aware, solution aware. Maybe they've been watching your content for the last 6 months, 12 months. Those are people that you're going to be wanting to talk about, potentially moving them into working closer with you, potentially buying your offer, right? An example that I made of this was, I think we were talking about weight loss one time, right? Say you're doing a keto diet, you sell a product related to keto, right? So the things that you have in your group is like, what is keto? What keto's done for you? What types of meal plans are in keto? What can you eat? What can't you eat? And then an offer. And what I mean by that is, like, it could be an affiliate product for a 12-week keto plan, right? So then somebody comes into your group, they get to build all this awareness around this specific diet. And then once they've went through this journey with you, then they're like, okay, well, now all this stuff makes sense. I think I'm going to try keto. I'm going to sign up for that 12-week program, and I'm going to have my hot girl summer. Right? Make sense? Your leverage content, group posts, trainings, offer. This is kind of like your daily action tasks, right? Everything that you do in your business has the ability to create leverage and continue to work for you, especially like your content is a cumulative game, right? The content creation is an accumulative game. This is probably one of the biggest bottlenecks that a lot of people run into is they'll post a few times and they'll be like, it's not working. You need to continuously build. It's like a spider's web, right? You're building all these little prongs and different, places and opportunities for you to create relationships that will turn into sales. But you have to do more of it, right? Hit more angles, right? Talk about different things in your content. Talk about, who you are. Don't be afraid to talk about your struggles. Follow up. This is a big one. Probably one of the most powerful aspects too, is because it can give you the ability to give you control. Messaging, sparking conversations with those who are engaging on your content, commenting on your post, taking action on your CTA, and actually being a human being and conversing with them, right? Seeing where they're at. Like, hey, like, what are you currently doing? What are some goals you have, right? Like, not everybody is going to be 100% yes, sold on you buying a product, and that's completely fine, right? Not everybody needs to be a buyer. Not everybody's going to buy your products, right? That's one of the hardest lessons I had to learn is selling to the right people. And by right people, I don't just mean people that have money. I mean people that I actually like, that I want to work with, that I want to build relationships with, that even after they pay me, I want to be like, hey, this person's pretty cool. Like, maybe we should go out and, get some tacos, right?
Yeah.
Like someone you would actually like to hang out with, because it's going to be really awesome when you actually work with them on a paid basis, because it's not a relationship just built on cash, right?
It's like, if I don't want to hang out with you, like outside of business, like we go get some food, right? If I don't get that vibe, then I'm probably not going to make you an offer. If I feel like you're fluffy and full of shit and aren't going to do the work, I'm not going to make you an offer, right? But these 5 steps right here is what is responsible for us doing really, really well. And we've done it with, I don't know, fuck tons of offers, different kinds of coaching, consulting, affiliate products, physical and digital. So take that with your wheel. So look, I'm gonna make this really quick and short, sweet, to the point, and then we're gonna get to Q&A. Now, if anyone has absolutely loved what we shared today, then I can tell you Group Juice will actually blow your fucking mind. Anyone who's in Group Juice on this live right now, please chime in the comments and tell them if I am lying, right? Group Juice has become a monster as far as methodology, training, resources, actual weekly coaching. So we want to personally invite you guys. So we've sold Group Juice for $1,000. It's now at $1,500. We've sold it, and we haven't had any bullshit refunds, anything like that. Like nobody bad mouthing us other than competitors, of course. But no one in Group Juice has had anything bad to say about what we teach and how we show up. So what we did was we were running the payment plan for $224 a month, but we have dropped that to where we are not doing any interest for you guys. If you want to get Group Juice, where you get all of our shit, we're dropping it down to $150 to get inside, and that is monthly. And we've got some cool things I can't really speak on just yet, but I'll just say that it's only going to be your fault if you don't do well with it because you don't follow what's inside. And we're going to show folks how to have that pay for itself pretty quickly if you're a person that isn't afraid of a little work for yourself. Okay, so from now until December 1st, we've got a discounted price. Now you can hit me, you can hit Nate, you can hit Chantel. Chantel works with us behind the scenes, or you can just go back to the person that referred you, to this training. Right? We're very open, honest, and transparent, and we've seen literally hundreds of folks blow their businesses up, make multi-six figures, quit their jobs, all because of working with us and what we teach. Okay, so in a nutshell, this is the entire model that we've used. Obviously, we go into higher detail inside Group Juice itself. Plus, you get to hang out with us every week, and we have a 24/7 questions thread. Nobody's question goes unanswered. We're going to prove that to you in the Q&A session. So it's your A to Z roadmap for building like a legit simple business that's actually going to make you money. And this is not going to require you to have the biggest brain when it comes to tech and softwares and all that shit. Like we actually don't teach that in the beginning. The only types of content you create that will get you to six figures in 6 to 12 months. We've had folks do 10 grand in as little as 19 days because they went through other shit that did not make sense. Then they got in Group Juice and it was like, fuck, it makes sense now. Boom, 10 grand in 19 days. We've had a shit ton of other people do it in 100 days or less. We've had folks do over 100,000 in 4 months. Like we've got some pretty crazy, just unexpected results based on what we teach. So I think the coolest thing is sales calls are getting pumped right now. Like, fill your calendar. Let us be your setter. We don't do sales calls. You don't have to when you follow what it is we talked about tonight and what's inside of Group Juice. So I don't have any other way to put it other than if you vibe with us and you want to learn from us and do some cool shit together and blow stuff up to where you can leave your job in 6 to 12 months, this is going to be an opportunity for you. So this is on the payment plan at $150 a month, but I'm going to throw something crazy out there. If there's anyone who wants to do a full pay for $1,500, I'll send you this free book, and me and Nate will give you 1 hour of our time, even if you are cookie to an affiliate. So I'm going to do that. And
sure. What?
Yeah.
What?
I didn't tell Nate about that. But yeah, there's our offer right there. So it's only going to be discounted for a little while, no interest, like no bullshit. So that's it. You can either do $1,500 one time if you like, or you can take advantage of the $150 a month. And there's going to be no reason or no fault except for yours why you do not get a positive ROI on the investment itself, right? Like no shit. I don't have any other fluffy shit to tell you. So hit up either me, Nate, or you can comment, send me the offer. We'll give you a quick little thing to check out. You can drop that hashtag juice me, and me, Nate, or Chantel will reach out, or you can hit up the person who referred you to this training. So let's make that happen. We want to work with some folks and help you do some cool shit, bring in some extra Christmas monies, so you can have a good old Christmas. And then we're going to open up the floor for Q&As. So is everybody clear on, what you need to do if you want to jump into Group Juice while the interest is non-existent and the price is as low as it is ever going to be for a short period of time? So you can say, juice me in the comments if you want to jump on this. And if anyone does happen to pull the trigger on, a full pay, the first person to do that gets a 1-hour Zoom call with Nate and myself. Even if you're cookie to an affiliate, we're still going to fucking pay them too. But we'll get on a 1-hour Zoom call and map out your entire shit with you. Now, we've done this with only private clients that pay us $500 to $1,000 a month, right? And for some reason, they won't leave us. They just keep hanging out with us. So if that tells you anything, if you want to pull that, there you go. Holler at your boy. But we will open up the floor for Q&As, and if I'll take note of folks that want to be juiced, and if you want to get juiced again, we'll send you a checkout link, you guys. Just
yeah, and I mean, there is more details on the actual page as well. So like, even if you want to like inquire about some more details about what's inside, what you'd actually be getting access to, right? Check out there's no harm, no foul checking out the 5-page doc, right?
Yep.
But you should be sleeping. I mean, it's not even 10 o'clock.
No, we're gonna do our best to try and go through and hit these comments. So bear with us as we look at them. What I'm gonna do, I'm not sure which group you're in, but I'm gonna go grab a link for this stupidly insane deal. So those of you that comment juice me, you can hit this link. But for right now, we'll look at questions, and we'll hang out with you guys longer and make sure your questions are answered regardless of what it is. And please forgive us if we happen to not go in order, because we're just going to try and find.
I'm trying to look them up.
Yeah.
If you guys do feel free to redrop them. But I am scrolling back to the top. There's a lot of comments in here, so.
Yep.
Let's see. This, yes, offer will be alive and available until December 1st. The discounted payment plan option will be available until December 1st. No interest. Let's see.
Yep. After that, it goes back up.
When it comes to videos you make, would you say quality or quantity is more important? 100% quality, and by quality I don't mean like a better camera or a better. I think what you're creating content about, or the message you're trying to convey in your content, is far more important than anything else, right? And the real reason for this is, like, let's say you're creating very consistent content that is doing a really good job at building a massive audience, but there's no connection to them actually doing, like, buying your products or actually getting involved in what you're doing, right? Like, a good real-time example of this is, like, we could go out and create content about remote jobs, fake side hustles, but then it would cannibalize our business, because everything we talk about in our offer is like, hey, play longer term, be extremely consistent, right? Build a personal brand, like, build something that's fucking yours, where we're, like, very incongruent with what we're doing over here, right? So I'm a big advocate on taking a very targeted approach as to your content creation, right? Like, you don't have to be the end all be all for somebody, right? Unless you're like one aspiring to be an influencer who gets paid for, like, brand deals and, like, stuff like that, then views and followers and, like, they don't actually have a direct correlation to making sales. So it's my little long-winded answer to your question. Fluffy like Nate. Yep.
All right. Yeah. For the Juice Me folks, I am dropping a link right now. And that's only going to be in my group, obviously. So if you can't see that, Nate, I might be able to drop it over on your side.
My first live was the best. I was killer. I was, confident.
All right,
That's a bit of an inside joke. I was the fucking worst. I didn't even know if I was live. I was talking to myself like about being live. You guys will probably see it at some point, but it was bad. Horrible. But it's inspiring to share with people, right? And I don't mind making a fool of myself at other people's amusement. So
yeah.
What are the
Let's see.
What are the pros and cons of creating a new Facebook profile page from scratch? Facebook will usually give you more restrictions with a brand new profile. We do a lot of things on profile versus pages, right? It's primarily like a profile, the same profile that you probably had for a long time, the same one you've been using to, share pictures of your food and stuff like that. Same profile. Biggest pros and cons is like new profiles. Facebook is probably going to put restrictions on them. I've seen people run into a lot of issues when they create new profiles. But I do know some people can't or don't want to like use their profile. So, they have to start with a new one. So, but there's a couple, there's pros and cons to both. The biggest thing is Facebook will usually put some type of restrictions on new profiles because they start flagging your accounts like, hey, there's two different accounts signed in on the same IP address. What's going on here? Like, why do you have two Facebook accounts? Right? Like privacy stuff. But we've had clients who've done well with either or, right? We've had people who've started new profiles and they've built a lot of momentum and had a lot of success because they started from scratch. And then we've had people who've used their seasoned profiles and return those into the billboards for their business. So either will work. I think it depends on you, your scenario. Like, if you have, a job that's like, hey, you can't create content about XYZ, then you might want to start a new one, right? Might actually do well. Okay.
Let's see what is happening. Okay, here we go. Nate, I'm assuming I was trying to find where you had that comment. I'm assuming you're way up high.
Not anymore. I'm like down
in the comment section.
Like probably like 75%. What side of TikTok are you on? You don't even want to know what side of TikTok I'm on. It's like a mixture of, my humor and then like, thirst trap content. So great.
I did. I see a Facebook user asked, "Did you drop it?" I dropped the link so you guys can get the offer on both sides. So it's in my group and in Nate's group. There's one of the comments. So you should, whatever group you're in, you should see a comment from me with the link so you can go grab the offer while you can.
This is a tricky one. Right? Like I have the attention, I have the foundation in place. I can't figure out what to sell. This is going to be different for everybody. Something that you have absolute conviction in is going to be crucial to actually selling something. Right? You have to actually believe in what you're selling, right? Like that's a big thing, right? Like especially in like the new affiliate space, people are like, "Hey, what are the best products I can promote without buying them?" It's like, why would you even promote them? Like purely for a monetary value? Look at things that you've had good experiences, things that you actively use, things that you would like feel confident telling your mom to go look at, or your spouse, right? Or something that you actually believe in, right? Because if you're going into like, hey, I want to find this thing that's going to pay me the most amount of money, right? People are going to smell that. People are going to that's going to come across everywhere in your content, right? I can, without a doubt, sell group juice with 100% conviction because it changed my entire business. And then the more people that we help, the more the conviction that just gets built because I've watched people change their entire lives with it. It's not to say you have to sell group juice, right? Like, it's going to be different for you. It's going to be different for everybody that's watching this video, right? Your morals, your ethics, what you want to do, what you want to build a business around is going to be a little bit different. So obviously, if you're creating a certain type of content, you would have to have some type of product that's related to that, right? So if you're creating content about, weight loss and keto and recipes, you're not going to want to sell a mastermind about building a personal brand and monetizing social media. You're going to want to sell something congruent to the type of content you're creating, right? If I'm creating tech products and tech reviews and I'm creating content about, like iPhones and stuff, like I'm going to be selling products and services related to that. I'm like, it's going to change depending on your individual business. But there's a myriad of opportunities for you to what you can actually sell. It's just a matter of what you actually vibe with and you can actually feel confident selling, whether that's creating your own service, creating your own products, launching your own digital products, or partnering with a company that has an affiliate product. So many different ways.
You can do whatever makes you feel good. Like me and Nate, we started with an affiliate product, and here's why. So it was actually an affiliate mastermind course. Me and Nate, we bought so much shit that didn't fucking work. So when we found something that actually gave us results, we were happy as shit to share it with our audience. And I think that's probably why folks share group juice with their audience, because everybody's been through all the cheap and fluffy courses to where like everything's not mentioned up front. Like I will put this guarantee out there. Group juice is like a library. If you have something you are dealing with in your business or a specific area you want to grow, you can more than likely find what you need as far as a specific training in bite-sized chunks with real resources. So like all the content that Nate and I have produced that have made over $1 million online, like everyone in Group Juice has access to it. Our framework for running predictable promotions and creating offers, like how we go about doing that, where we've sold out every single offer we've ever put to market. We recently added that to Group Juice. It's called Predictable Profits. We've done it with more than a dozen different products and offers and launches, and we've did as much as I think $81,000 in a month. That's like our record month. 81,000 cash collected from one particular training that you immediately get access to in Group Juice. So like, make sure whatever it is you decide to sell, just make sure that you feel good and you can stand behind it. Because when you're confident about whatever it is, it might be a fucking 12-inch dildo. I don't know. If you're confident in that thing, it does what it needs to do, then you'll be able to show up and sell the shit out of it, right? But my point is, just make sure you're confident in what it is that you're bringing to your audience, because they're real people. This is why Nate and I are like probably some of the most transparent sons of bitches you see online, because we're like, well, if you're not going to do the work, we don't want to sell to you. Oh, well, I got the money. I don't give a fuck. I don't want your money if you're not going to do what's required for you to actually get the results that you're mad about not getting. So that's how I would kind of look at it. If you, whatever attention you got, following you got, foundations in place, like look at how you got the attention. How did you build the following? What are your foundations? I hate to say it, but those three things right there, that can become an offer, right? Hey, here's how to grow your audience. Here's how to get massive attention. Here's how to make sure you have these three key pillars in place for a concrete foundation so that your business can actually grow. We've got a whole ass offer creation training inside of Group Juice as well. So literally your knowledge can become what you sell. You just have to be able to find the people that need that knowledge and are willing to pay for it. One thing I've always said for years and years and years is find a group of people that have a problem and create the solution for them. They will pay you every single time. Yep. Let's see. We got any more questions?
This isn't necessarily a question, kind of a bit of a statement. And like, it's not an uncommon thing. right? And like it's can definitely feel overwhelming, or like there's so many people talk about all these different moving parts. We're really big on keeping things as simple as possible. So I'll try to dilute it a little bit as a whole, right? The ultimate goal is to create content because you want to build relationships with people, create awareness around you, who you are, like because you over time you're going to start building relationships, which then creates opportunities to sell products related to the type of content you're creating, right? If like for example, if you're a mom and you're creating content all the time about hacks of, being a stay-at-home mom, cleaning your house, doing, you know, like time blocking or all these different things. Like it could just be something as simple as you creating content all the time about being a mom and like what you do as a stay-at-home mom. What naturally that does over time is it creates an audience of stay-at-home moms that would probably like to purchase the fucking calendar that you put on the wall that is like, hey, this is like I have this appointment and I got to go to the grocery store and I have to do this and I have this thing. Or like, hey, like that's a pretty cool way that they're like folding their kids' laundry. Like, where did you learn this? Or I really like that laundry basket, right? Like as a whole, that's what we do as content creators is you create awareness around yourself and who you are and things you're doing and like what you do, which then creates opportunities to sell products, whether they're courses, coaching, consulting, physical products, digital products, does not matter. It then creates opportunities to sell your audience products that's related to what you acquired the attention for. Right. So hopefully I didn't like fuck that up and like make it even more complex. But that's as a whole what we do, right? Create awareness with content, which then creates an audience, and then over time buys products because they start liking you, building relationships with you, right?
Here we go. If
Yes, I will get you guys the presentation. I will put it above this video after we get done. I forgot to put it in there. I probably should have did it before we went live. But I will definitely ping it above this.
Yep. If we missed any questions, feel free to drop them. There are easier to see at the bottom.
Can you talk about the difference between a Facebook profile and a page? So a Facebook profile, Facebook's looking at merging the two. They've been talking about it for like the last probably 2 years. They're trying to like simplify the process, but for the longest time, a profile is meant for everyday people like you and me, and like people who want to connect with their friends and their family. And pages are primarily for businesses who are running Facebook ads, right? Which usually meant it's not as prevalent nowadays, but which usually meant the organic reach, and by organic reach I mean the number of people you are going to reach when you create content is going to be a lot lower than if you create it on your profile, because Facebook knows that you will pay for them if you're on a page. It's a business, they want money, right? That's the nature of it. Pages are meant for ads, right? That's the reality of it. Or they are changing a lot of different structures, so you can take that with a grain of salt. But a lot of the stuff we talk about is with your actual profile, your personal profile. And this kind of rolls into Matthew's question as well. Is like the pro dashboard version is like the profile version of a page, right? They give you some analytics and stuff like that. I haven't noticed much of a difference between having it on or off. They do offer incentives to like certain creators if you're going viral and stuff like that regularly. But if you noticed a big change in your content, or like your views and your reach started getting throttled as soon as you turn it off, turn it off. I mean, as soon as you turned it on, turn it off. There's not like, unless you're planning on getting paid with Reels pay, there's no big benefit to have it on right now, in my opinion.
Yep.
Right.
Answered that. And we kind of briefly said it, but it's building your own Facebook group has made it really easy to grow and collect your own email list. Like that was the very first software that I had to add, because following group use strategies, my Facebook group was fucking growing by the hundreds every day, and then we throttle things back. But I had to put a software into place, but it collects the emails based on the group questions. Folks have to answer the group questions in order to get into the group, and then the software does it all automatically and puts them on my email list, because I send emails that are congruent with what I put in the group. And so now I have like an extra touch point. But you definitely should collect emails from folks in your group if they're willing to give it to you. Treat that as like a best friendship. Like, don't spam people with bullshit. Only send things that will be helpful. Like, especially if you're promising to send them something to get their email, send them something fucking good. Right? We've had folks from our free trainings, like the one we did today, go off and make a couple grand and like, hey, I want to buy your shit, right, off of our free stuff. If you help folks get results before they ever buy from you, they will continue to buy from you for the years to come. And like, we're living proof of that. So definitely collect emails for your group. Let me see. Can you ever build it too big? Hell yeah, you can grow too fast. I hit my first $20,000 a month in less than 8 months when I, really took it serious, and it scared the shit out of me, and it kind of crushed me for a little bit. I did like $22,790 in 30 days. Paid off some debt, bought a brand new lawnmower because I sold my lawnmower to make the initial investment. But it scared the shit out of me, excited the hell out of me. But it kind of took me out because I grew too quickly. I did not have all the proper shit in place. I did not know how to handle that kind of volume. So like the next month, I think I only did like, I don't know, 6,000 to 8,000, which was still a lot of money. And I just grew too quick. So I had to kind of slow down and make sure I had things in place. So what I would say is, what me and Nate talk about now is like designing your business to serve you first so that you can serve everyone else like how you want to, so you can really and truly help folks. Like our private clients, the ones that pay us $500 to $1,000 a month, we don't let many people come into that. We are very, very selective on that, and we keep it capped out, right? Group juice, very, very leveraged. We show up every week. It's not like a bunch of extra work to maintain things, because like the training is, bomb.com anyway. And then we show up and do, the weekly group coaching calls every single week, just like we have, for almost 2 years now. But you can build shit too big. So this is why we're like, grow slow, focus 3, 6, and 12 months, and design shit how you want to the first time. Huge lesson Nate and I both learned. Build it how you want.
And it's it'll change on the person. Some people want big multi-million-dollar, $10, $50 million a year businesses with big teams and managing people, and that's what they want. I think it's comes down to like clarity on the actual type of business you want and how you want to operate, which isn't something beginners are going to have a lot of extreme clarity on, right? I didn't have real clarity on the type of business I wanted to run until I was a few years in, after I was already making money and I was working with certain people and I was doing different types of things. But we're really big on building a business that revolves around your life, and not a life that revolves around your business. And that's because we've worked with a lot of people who've made a lot more money than us, that have learned some hard lessons, right? We're talking building millions and millions and millions of dollars in businesses that fucking hated their business because the only thing they cared about was raising the bottom line and making more money, which is the common theme. Some people will call it bro scaling. Only thing that matters is how can I make more fucking sales? And we don't want to run our business like that, right? We started this business to have more time with our family and our kids and be present. And it would be a waste if we sacrifice all that shit to build this fucking big business, right? That's not the point, right? It's not what we started. Right? Which is easy to lose track of and lose sight of, especially as you start making more money. And like, we don't have a desire to have a massive team of closers and setters. And I mean, that would be irrelevant because we don't do calls, but it's a different model that we run. You know, leverage products on the front and a continuity products on the back, high ticket continuity offer on the back. And that's kind of the beasts we feed and we'll continue to do. And we'll take it to $1 million a year, uh, probably within the next couple of years. But
Yep.
enjoying the business, like actually enjoying running our business, like our Tuesday calls, I love with our clients, like we get to work with our coaching clients that our cheeks hurt by the end of it because we're laughing, right? Like that's fucking
Yeah.
cool. Like loving the clients you work with that are happily paying you. That's the type of business we want to build. That's the type of big business we want to build, right? One that we love operating, even if it takes us a while or longer to hit the monetary milestones and shit. Like that's how we want to build our business, which is different for everybody. So, extremely long-winded answer to that question. So I hope you're still here. Total price, one-time payment is $1,500 for group juice, or the discounted payment plan option is $150 times 10. And that would get you instant access to everything, the coaching calls, the actual entire program. You know, that's the pricing. No interest. As of right now, there's like 25% interest total cost on the payment plan. We've decided to remove that, keep it available for the next 45 days. That way you guys can kind of chew on it, make a decision, figure out if it's for you or if it's not for you. And you want to come in and hang out, then love to see you inside. If not, apply some of the stuff that's in the group and, yeah.
Might have a little lag. I was just going to pull this up. Appreciate you sharing that, Danya. Said she spent thousands of dollars on courses with some of the top names. She told us some of the top names, and she said that group juice shatters everything. That's fucking awesome. I can't tell you how much I appreciate. Yeah, for real. Thank y'all for all these. Just look in the comments, guys. Jesus, y'all are gonna make a fucking guy cry. Yeah, I'm making sure we did drop the comments, and I dropped it in both groups for the offers. If you guys want to take me up on, this book, that's for whoever wants to get the 1 hour Zoom call with me and Nate. That's full pay only. But if you want to jump on the, no interest discounted plan at $150 a month, if you can't find that, just message me or Nate or whoever sent you here. They probably got some good shit for you too. Trying to make sure I didn't.
This is a kick-ass question. I think if it's all in the financial realm or like investments, services, I think you keep it all congruent in one house, right? It's not like if you're talking about, like a IUL or index universal life insurance policy, and then you're talking about, something related to a different financial service, like don't create all these different things, right? Like keep it all in one, right? Like talk about all these different prongs inside of financial services, whether it's, this is for person X, this is for person Z, this is for person A, right? And then it's all just like this melting pot of different financial services or strategies related to investing or making your money work for you. And that becomes the entire cadence of how you create content or what you're creating content around, because then you're going to be building an audience of people all interested in, getting better with finances, learning different avenues to, manage their finances. So I would definitely mix them in all in the same place, the arena, right? Your arena. Right. If you look at like a lot of our content, we don't necessarily just talk about one thing. It's a good way to look at it is like umbrella is the reference I've been using a lot lately is it all falls under that same umbrella, right? So you have financial services at the top, right? And that's like a very broad topic. And then everything under that, it's fair game for you to talk about. Yep. Right. And obviously if you figure out an angle or a certain topic that hits the best with the audience or like the attention, then maybe start doubling down on some of those topics or different prongs under that topic, right?
Yeah, I see Shanna. So sorry if I'm said that wrong. Same thing for this one is what Nate just said. It's like one big thing that's the top of your umbrella, and then it's like it's a lot goes into it. Like me and Nate, we've had the same group, and we've sold. Nate, how many different products have we sold? I don't fucking know, a lot, all from the same group. Because it's like we've sold stuff around lead generation. I've sold physical products from my group. I've sold all kinds of shit from the same group because it's all been congruent and relevant in some type of way, right? So don't overthink that part. It's like you're just sharing different pieces of the masterpiece, different puzzle pieces to the masterpiece, where different folks will connect with different things that you share, but you've got a melting pot of different kinds of people that need different types of content and different types of products.
I think that's a hard thing to think about too with like content is it's not as black and white as like creating an ad or like a paid campaign because it has to hit with a certain person. Whereas like your content has the ability to kind of work together, right? So if I posted a piece of content yesterday, the audience that comes in from that piece of content, it could be a different topic that I talk about tomorrow, but it could still be relevant to them. Right? I could post a picture of like my dog and they're like, "Oh, that dog's cute. I'm going to like hit a like." And then I could post a piece of content tomorrow that's about, optimizing your profile for business. And they're like, "Oh, fuck, like I like that dude's dog." And now I just seen his post about, building a business and like that's kind of interesting to me too. Right? It's not as,
Yeah.
um yeah.
For this one, you say you have a great offer, but you pivoted. I don't really have a relevant portfolio anymore, and this has harmed my sales method. Any suggestions in using your method? So, like, whatever your offer is around. Like, obviously, I don't know what your offer is around. Let's say your offer is around. I'll pick something random. Look around. Maybe your offer is around content creation, having the proper lighting, and making sure your content actually hits hard, right, to where you make more sales. Let's just say that's what it is for a second. Even if you made a pivot, but you have the same offer, then it's just going to become you creating content around your offer and what you do, who you help, how you help, like what that looks like, your actual plan to help them. You're just creating content around that, and then pair that with a Facebook group where you're going even deeper into your great offer. If you have a great offer, then you should have no problems creating, newer content to attract the audience that needs the offer, right? If you have a great offer, that means you know what problem it solves and who it is for. So it's like just a simple content shift. Let's see. We're going through, guys. Y'all work with me. I'm looking for questions. Questions. Answered that one already. Let me see.
And the product can change.
Oh.
The product can change, right? And this is a big thing too. Is like a product can change. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to pick a product that you have to get married to for the rest of your life. It could
Yeah.
be something that is relevant right now that you like, you stand behind, you've purchased. It could help somebody solve one piece of their business or fix one specific problem. It doesn't have to be this end all be all thing, right? It doesn't have to be it, it will change, right? We've sold lots of different products. We sold lots of different offers, right? It changes depending on like our goals, what we want to do, right? We launched a brand new school community sometime last month, which was a paid community, right? And now we're doing a group juice promotion for a discounted payment plan. Two different products, right? Same community, same foundation and shit like that. Like product doesn't have to be set in stone, right? I think it's easy to pick something, right? You figure it out as you go, which I know is very bland and cliche to say, but probably already have a suite or a selection of things that you could potentially sell, and try to sell a couple of them. You might figure out like, oh, this is cool. I like this. You might be like, hey, I don't really like selling this thing. Then it's like, okay, well, and you need to figure something else out. Right?
Yeah. So what did I just click? Was it that one?
You could try you try turning off the professional mode, like test and see, right? Because
Yeah.
that could be a thing. That could be a thing where like I can't necessarily say this because I mean we're live on. Okay, whatever. The reality is the thing to think about with like a pro account is like they're starting to look at like, hey, you'll pay us to boost posts. Like you're gonna have to pay us to reach your audience. Like
Yeah.
they're gonna start throttling engagement because they don't need more creators. They don't need more people. They're gonna start throttling views because people are gonna start paying for it. Right. So the natural thing that will happen is like, okay, you turn on the pro dashboard. Now you can pay us to reach all your audience. Right. And people will fucking pay it. So
right. But
try to turn it off.
One thing that can't be competed with is good content. If your content is good, like if you trigger people's emotions in a good and bad way, and it just kind of gets engagement, like just create better content. But Nate does have a solid ass point. But like if you're hitting people between the eyes with good shit, then you'll be fine. But like you said, just kind of test it. Our biggest and best advice is like we test shit until we find what works, and then we do more of what works. That's like pretty cliche, I know, but let's see.
So I'm running.
We're running through
my page. That could potentially be why the natural reach on pages are usually pretty low. You know, that it's more of for ads, but they're trying to merge them. So like try to post some of the same reels on a profile and like test, right? That's like a big thing, right? Our page reach does the pages we have a couple pages that we run that we send content on that Chantel talks to people inside of and stuff like that, and the reach isn't as good, right? I have a Facebook page with like 10,000 people on it. If I post a piece of content on it, maybe 20 people are seeing it unless I pay to boost that post, right? But that could be why, but it also could be content, right? Yes, there is a way to view their answers. If you click on somebody's profile inside of your group, it will take you to like a dummy profile. And then you can scroll down and it's on the bottom left. It'll say view membership answers. And then you can click there and then it'll show you the actual questions that they answered when they came into your group. But yeah, you just basically click on their profile and then it will populate down towards the bottom left. It'll give you all their answers that they answered in your questions. Yes, you can 100% add membership questions to your new group. You will need to make sure the group is private. If it's a public group, I don't think you can ask questions because it just lets everybody in. But yeah, you can. I think it's just in the settings. It's just under membership questions. You can have 3. You would usually have like a market research question, like, hey, where are you currently at? Like, what do you do, etc. Maybe like a permission to reach out or send them something. Hey, I'm absolutely glad to have you as a part of my community. Would you like me to send you a resource packet about getting better with finances? Right. Would be like a good real-time example.
You can definitely add the questions if you've already got a group. And then the next one, Nate, what about if you have everything in place? Can you grow too big to where you need help? Only if you want to. I mean, like we're very particular with our sales process. Like you can't book a call and just get on a call with us and have us sell you something. It's like it's typically pretty personalized. So you're in control of it. And we like that aspect of it. Like me and Nate, we've gotten to consistent $30,000 months, and we've only got 2 folks that that help us within the business. Other than that, how it's designed, me and Nate, manage everything. And it's not like super crazy or overwhelming. Like we got one person that helps with, it's Chantel, by the way. She's someone who used to make $200 a month because she lives in a third world country. And then she ignored me for a year. It's a great story. And she finally decided to pull the trigger. Now, again, her salary was $200 a month, right, where she lived. She joined Group Juice after ignoring me for a year, and 12 months she crossed $100,000 online. So take that and think about that for a second. And she done that with limited electricity and limited internet connection, and she still built a fucking 6-figure business, right? Yeah. So she helps us behind the scenes by, client acquisition and customer relationships. And then we have another badass that goes by the name of Brooke, who edits some of our long form content into short form content. And that's it for a baseline multi 6-figure business per year.
And when you structure it correctly, you don't need to grow it big. I mean, 30 clients in our continuity program is a $300,000 a year business. You don't need more clients, right? Like we're big on longer retainers, coaching clients, etc. Right? Like obviously this isn't something a brand new we're imploring or telling a brand new beginner to go out there and do. Like, don't try to go launch a coaching program for $1,000 a month because you haven't accomplished results that would justify people paying you $1,000 a month yet. But the power of that is when you do, you don't need a lot of people, right? What if you get to $2,000 a month, $60,000 a year per person, right? Like working with 5 or 6 clients and you have a multi-six-figure business, like.
Yeah, think about it. This question, yes, anywhere you want and you have internet connection. Literally, like we took a lot of vacations this year, and I ran the business while we were on vacation, and hell, made money on every vacation that I was on, right? There was one I wanted to drop. I just want, where'd it go? There's one I seen. Dang it, where'd it go? I'm tripping. It really, hold on. Was it that one? So check this out. I've always been protective of my Facebook profile because it's all really for friends and family and bragging about my kiddos. I never wanted to mix the two. Check this out. I felt the same way. I deleted 95% of Facebook friends and family because I wanted to take this business serious. Now, folks are, starting to find me even more and more. Y'all just saw Heather's comment. Heather she lives right down the road from me, and she's jumped into this world and been kicking fucking ass, if I do say so myself. But I deleted all those folks so I could take my shit serious, and I still brag about my kiddos on my profile. Like, people in the business world, they know who Flip's kids are, right? Everybody knows Miranda and Ashton. Why? Because I take a picture with them when I take them to school every single day, and I share that in my content. So don't let that kind of thing hold you back, because the reality of a personal brand is that it is personal. And I'll just say this, and then we'll move on to the next one. If you're in, say, your 30s, 40s right now, there's a good chance you were raised not to share any of your personal shit going on, life, finances, business, etc. That's the old way. The new way is being transparent, open, and honest. And I'm not saying put all of your private shit on Facebook, but what I'm saying is don't let who might see your shit or the fact that you use Facebook for memes and politics and family and friends, don't let that be a thing that holds you back or hinders you from building something that you really want to build, right? Because like I mix shit. Nate shares personal stuff. We teach people how to take your life live it how you want to and monetize that shit. That's what we do. Let's see.
I wouldn't necessarily say using hashtags. It would be more of like sharing more of your story, talking about your experience about moving here from the UK, like what that was like, what it was like going and finding a job, right? Like the more that you create content in that arena, the more people that are going to like resonate with that. When you have people that are like from the USA that like fucking never even realized that it would be that difficult. And then you'll also start pulling other people that are like, okay, I went through this exact same struggle as her, and I want to follow her because I want to know what changed for her. Right. So obviously you can like mix in different hashtags as far as like keeping it relevant to that. But I think a big part of it would be like starting to convey that in your content and sharing that as like stories. Right. Like, hey, this is where I came from. This is what it was like finding a job as an immigrant. These are some things that helped me. Like all of those things are things that I would cover very regularly in my content. As much as you can, really. You look at like Gary Vee, he talks about the same things over and over and over again. Like, because it's the same story, same goal, same type of person he wants to talk to in his content. Kind of emulate something similar. Like the social media is weird, right? Like they will the right type of people will start coming to your content as you create it, right?
Yeah. There was one I saw. I think we're getting to the nitty gritty, so we'll take a couple more and we'll get ready to. Yeah. We'll get ready to close out.
Can you do multiple at one time in terms of products? Yes and no. And the reason I say no is I see this is probably one of the biggest things that I see cannibalizing most people's business. Because they don't maintain consistency in like an arena for long enough. It's like they jump from product to product to product to product to product to product to product, and it's always the best opportunity for the next person every time, right? And that is the surefire way to stay stuck, right? Now, if you're talking about having different opportunities that help people with different areas in business, different areas, or like, you can buy this orange shirt over here and these purple pants over here, then like, yeah, that's fine. But the biggest thing that gets overlooked, especially from new people, is congruency. Congruency in your messaging and the type of things that you're doing. So I can't come out and be like, we've built all this demand and this attention around being ethical business owners and talking about playing longer term. And if I started creating content like, hey, I'm going to help you build a 10K per month business in 90 days, copy and paste, automated, done for you, everybody that I've just spent the last 2 years talking to is going to think I'm full of shit, and they're not going to want to listen to anything I have to say because they're going to feel like I just lied to them for the last couple of years. Right. And that's how people will start to feel in your audience at times. If it's like, hey, I have this best opportunity for you. And then the next thing you're selling them is like the polar opposite of the last thing you were doing. Right. So you can, right. But as a beginner, I think it's difficult to do it correctly. Right.
I was laughing at Spencer. Oh, shit. He said he posted part of his Panda Express order. God damn it.
Hell yeah.
I know. Hey, Sharita. I know she was a little late because a couple core folks ran a kick-ass training, so she said. But she said she wanted me to define my definition of leverage. It's probably going to be in two areas. So if I did not create any content tomorrow or talk to anyone, I still have content that is being seen and viewed at all times, right? Because I've created so much. So I don't have to create content tomorrow. Another form is leverage is I no longer have to start every month at zero. I start every single month with all of my bills paid, right? Regardless of what kind of work I do, right? So I could take a whole month off if I wanted to and be completely fine. Another form of leverage is being able to start my day how the fuck I want to, right? I get up, and I get to take my girls to school. I don't have to punch a clock. I don't have to be somewhere at some specific time other than school. So we have things and layers set up in place in business. We do have some stuff automated because I saw another thing. Can you automate it? We'll answer that in a second. But I've got leverage that I want. I don't have to go and put steel toes on and go work 12 hours a shift. I don't have to worry about that. That's leverage to me. Being able to say, no, I do not want to do business with you. Leverage again. So many different forms of leverage in my opinion. But those are a few for me. Anytime I create something like this live will also create leverage. So we answered so many questions here. We can create more content about this live because it was so kick ass, and that's going to create leverage in our business, right? So all that is a handful of leverage. And the other question, can you automate everything? You could, but you don't want to take you out of the equation completely, right? Unless you just want to be like a robot. But you can automate things to remove you from certain aspects of the business, but I would not encourage you to automate the entire thing because it's going to take away from the personal branding, is what we're building. Me and Nate, we don't want to be taken out of certain parts of the business because we enjoy interacting with people. We enjoy being in the trenches of other people's businesses and fixing shit and watching it grow. But yes, you could get it to where you don't have to manage much, but you're going to have to manage some shit. Like you're not going to get it 100% automated. All right, Miss Angela, have a good one. That was one time sale. Matthew, I think this is the last question.
Can you hear me now? Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I was going to talk about automation real quick, and then we'll jump off. I got the demon is probably hungry, but it's when it comes to like automation. If you're brand new, you're just looking to get started, I would honestly, in my wholehearted opinion, delay automating anything in your business for as long as you can. And I know that's a contrary opinion to what people will tell you in the market. Like, hey, you're working a full-time job. Let's automate all your sales process. Like, no. Like, do not automate anything. And the reason for that is you cannot automate something that you do not understand. You can't automate a piece of the business until you actually understand how that business part actually works. And then it can be effective. So that's why I encourage most people to like delay that aspect for as long as possible, because you're going to build reps. You're going to get good at it. You're going to understand it, which then makes automating it actually a viable thing to do because you know how it works. Right. I tried to automate everything from the beginning, and I was wondering why I wasn't making sales. I was using all these automations, and like I would just build automations. I didn't ever take the time to learn how or why or what actually to pull on to make people to buy products from me. So I'm a big advocate on like delaying the automation aspect. Right. I think it keeps a lot of people stuck chasing automated systems and building these plug and play type businesses stuff. But like, yeah, just my opinion, but yeah, we're big on repeat business, monthly recurring. So that's huge we've been putting a big emphasis on that for the last few years. Would much rather prefer repeat business than one-time sales. Like the term we use all the time is the relationship begins after the yes, meaning the actual relationship with somebody starts after they buy a product from us, right? Have somebody who bought a $100 affiliate product from me 3 years ago and has been paying us every month on a retainer because she likes us. We like her. We've met her 2 or 3 times in real life. Like spent a week with her at a beach house. Like, because we're all about like long-term relationships because that's fucking how we like to operate businesses.
Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, I think we got through all of the questions. I know we started with 100 folks, and we still have 33 of you badass individuals that made it through our long ass winded shit. So you guys are the real MVPs.
Yep.
But really hope you guys enjoyed this as far as the training and the Q&A session. Thank y'all for hanging out with us for much longer than we anticipated. But
How it goes.
that's how it goes. We're long-winded. We like to talk. Hope y'all have a good night. And if y'all want to jump on the offer before we, take the price back up and all that good shit, give us a shout. We're glad to get you sorted. But other than that, hope y'all have a good night, and we'll catch y'all on the flip side, guys.
Bye.
Love, peace, chicken grease. See y'all later.